We're here with the second video of the day, and probably the last one too. First, we got California governor's office tells diners to wear masks in between bites. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he's getting a little out of hand. The office of California Governor Gavin Newsom has told residents in the Golden State that if they go out to eat, they should be wearing a mask in between bites to protect themselves from COVID-19. Going out to eat with members of your household this weekend? On October 3rd, tweet from the governor's office says, "Don't forget to keep your mask on in between bites." It says, going out to eat with members of the household this weekend, don't forget to keep your mask on in between bites. Do your part to keep those around you healthy. For emphasis, the tweet shows an image of someone at a dining seat wearing a mask, then not wearing a mask while taking a bite, then putting the mask on again. However, the image then advises people to minimize the number of times you take your mask off. So basically stating, take your mask off to eat your bite fully, then to put it back on in between the bite, but also take the biggest bites possible. So what happens then when they take their mask off to chew their big ass bite, sorry for the language, and then put their mask back on and then start choking, and then and then they spew it all over their mask. This is just a horrible idea, Governor Newsom. Stop being an authoritarian dictator here, because boy, they're starting to stand up against you, as we saw with the Trump sign in the last video over on the 405. I think they're done with you, Governor Newsom. They are completely done with you and your lockdown. It says, for emphasis, however, the image then advises people to, California has allowed limited indoor dining to resume in a number of counties. San Francisco allowed indoor dining last week at 25% capacity, completely destroying the economy and businesses because they can't run at 25% capacity. California has had more than 800,000 cases and more than 16,000 deaths due to the virus. Numerous health experts have said that masks can reduce the spread of the virus, but when it's appropriate or possible to wear a mask is frequently a topic of debate. Broadcasters for Sunday Night Football were compelled by officials in Santa Clara, California, to wear a mask while commentating on the NFL game between the San Francisco 49ers and Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, Canada's top doctor last month suggested people wear a mask during sex to protect themselves from the virus and also avoid kissing. Don't have any interaction with any person ever, under any freaking circumstances. This is what the Democrats want for you. Oh, that hurt a little bit in my throat. Whew, I need some water now after that one. Whew, that really hurt my throat. Ooh. All right, we also then got over on the other side of the country in New York. Religious institutions have been a problem. Andrew Cuomo threatens to shut down churches and synagogues. Democratic New York Governor Andrew Cuomo threatened Monday to close down religious institutions, specifically Jewish synagogues, if they do not follow his coronavirus restrictions. We know religious institutions have been a problem, Cuomo said at a Monday press conference. We know mass gatherings are the super spreader events. Then why did you allow protesting and rioting to happen instead of stopping them and arresting them? No, instead you're going after churches and random people and just going to shut down 9 neighborhoods because I know you're going to allow it. God, I hate Mayor Bill de Blasio and both you, Andrew Cuomo, because you're just destroying that state. We know there have been mass gatherings going on in concert with religious institutions in these communities for weeks. Yeah, and you've had protesting and rioting for months. Talk about super spreader events. I don't mean little violations, he continued. I'm talking about you're only supposed to have 50 outdoors. They had 1,000. Yeah, what about the thousands protesting and rioting, literally just locking into each other where you can't move anymore? The governor referred to pictures from the past couple of weeks, calling the pictures emblematic of the mass religious gatherings occurring during the pandemic. What about the mass religious gatherings of the ideologues of the left? Those seem to be super spreader events that seem to be religious. Are you going to shut those down too? Do those follow those guidelines as well, Andrew Cuomo? I doubt it. It appears that the photos that Cuomo referred to are from 2006 and showed the funeral of Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum, according to Jewish insider Jacob Kornblum. Cuomo's office did not immediately respond to a press inquiry regarding the photos. Cuomo said that he understood that closing down religious institutions can lead to uncomfortable situations, but that he will tell the Orthodox community on Tuesday, if you're not willing to live with these rules, then I'm going to close the synagogues. Yeah, I think, man, I'm surprised that he hasn't been recalled. I'm sure this election, you are going to be voted out. I have had a 30-year relationship with the Orthodox community, he added. And, you just, apparently, if you did have one, it's now just tattered and in flames. You just burnt it to the ground. It goes back to my father. I don't even care what you say about this. You're just trying to pander and trying to justify your actions that are just authoritarian dictatorship. You're one of the worst at it. The New York governor also described how health department officials can help monitor whether religious institutions are following coronavirus restrictions. He offered the example of a Nassau County Department of Health official who was stationed in front of St. Peter's Church. The capacity is 150, he said, speaking as a hypothetical state official running the task force. You stand at the front door. When they go over 75, you close the door and call me. And if you have any problem, the state police officer is down the block and he will come help you. Sounds like some authoritarian dictatorship. You're just going to arrest people for just trying to, I don't know, maybe just respectfully and non-violently exercise their First Amendment right. Yeah. I think you're the problem, Andrew Cuomo, and your unconstitutional edicts upon the people of your state. We also then got from the Daily Mail, Donald Trump tweets his support for repealing a law protecting tech companies after Facebook removed his post falsely claiming flu is more lethal than COVID, and Twitter flags it for violating rules. One of the problems is Trump shouldn't have said appeal. He should have said reform, because it needs reforming. It needs to allow these big tech companies to have accountability for their actions, but it also needs to protect the individual. Appealing it might not protect the individual. And that's kind of the issue at hand. So maybe we need to look at more of a reform than necessarily an appeal. Unless you have an option after that appeal to, actually fix it, maybe replace it in some way. Yeah, I think you just saying appeal was probably the bigger issue. But, the other part of the story is that, Twitter flagged his tweet, about the flu season. He says, flu season is coming up. Many people every year, sometimes over 100,000, despite the vaccine, die from the flu. Are we going to close down our country? No, we have learned to live with it, just like we are learning to live with COVID. In most populations, far less lethal. And he got flagged for that. I mean, it's pretty true. Says a spokesperson for Facebook told CNN the post was removed for breaking the rules on COVID-19 misinformation. How is it? It isn't it's pretty much not as deadly as the flu. So why are we locking down? Why are you shutting down the president's speech of all people then? It says Tuesday's post was flagged by Twitter with the statement, this tweet violated the Twitter rules about spreading misleading and potentially harmful information related to COVID-19. However, Twitter has determined that it may be in the public's interest for the tweet to remain accessible. Yeah, it should. Because it's not actual misinformation, and you're just trying to claim it, and you're trying to help the Democrats and Joe Biden win. Because you want to know why? He wants to stop you. He wants to stop the big tech giants from becoming some crazy techocracy and controlling all of our lives. I definitely don't want that. Do you, people? Do you? Do you want Google to dictate your every whim, your every need? Do you want it to subjugate you? I bet you might want to. Yeah, maybe some of you want to. Yeah, crazy fanatics of Google. I was actually saying this probably like 10 years ago, that Google will probably own all of us. And man, it's getting closer and closer to looking like that from all these tech companies. They really want to just control all our very lives. And I don't want that, that's for sure. But I definitely do like using technology. I just don't want to be controlled. We got from the Daily Caller then. The family sues after child suspended for visible BB gun in online class. We covered this, I believe, like a week ago or so. A fourth grader got suspended from showing a BB gun to his aunt. Like, he was in his room with the BB gun, and the teacher suspended him. The school suspended him. So now the parents are suing the school district, which bravo. But I mean, really, it's just going to then come to the taxpayers. It's just going to be taxpayers pretty much giving you guys this money. And the school district isn't going to give a damn. They're just going to continue on with their indoctrination. So they're going to suspend you just for being in your room now at this point, if you're a child. So they're trying to see if it violated the kid's constitutional rights, and it pretty much seems like it. But like I said, it's pretty much going to end up just being the taxpayers that end up paying for it, because it's taxpayers that fund the local government and the education system. So we need to solve the issue of the education system more than just straight suing it. I mean, yeah, eventually then taxpayers are going to run out of money. The local government's going to run out of money with everyone suing them, and then, yeah, it'll collapse. So I don't know the actual answer to this. I mean, they're in their right to sue, so I can't stop them from doing that. But who knows what repercussions we're going to have through all of this, through everything that they try to do. I surely don't know. We can only, I guess, theorize. Although they'll call it just conspiracy, even if you just try to think any more than, I don't know, 10 minutes into the future at this point. So I'm going to leave it there. It's the last video of the day. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.